Hello and welcome to another edition of the Josh Hose Show. I'm your host, Dave Sheets, and with me is the head coach of the Massillon Tigers, Josh Hose. We want to thank our sponsor, Reliable Heating and Cooling of Massillon. Coach, welcome back to the show.
I'm excited to be back again.
All right. Road trip to Cleveland last night. Your Tigers came up with a 75-29 win at Cleveland John Marshall. You're now 8-2. Tell us more about last night's win.
Well, I mean, it was one of those games that's kind of nerve-wracking because you're going into it, like you said, a road trip, and we had some transportation issues. We've had things with buses getting canceled or delayed, and we can't leave on time. So the JVs were a little bit late getting there. You walk in, it's just a foreign environment. We haven't played that team before, and so you just don't know what to expect. And so I told our kids our number one goal was focus. Going in there and just focusing on task at hand type thing and opponent, and not getting distracted by any other thing. One scoreboard wasn't working. They had a light out. That just like little things that I guess in a city school probably with Cleveland City they may have some of those issues and just be more common to them. But our guys went in and again against a team we didn't really know much about and played really well. We jumped on them early. And then it became a thing of like not getting sloppy and continuing to play the game the right way. We had some points where we got kind of lax with the ball and took some bad shots, but our kids did a really good job refocusing, finished strong. We got a lot of guys in. And with the stretch of 8 games in 5 days, we really wanted to make sure we extended the bench and limited minutes for guys. So that was good. And the Boardman game we're going to talk about in a little bit here. I was glad we were able to do that for that with that game with a quick turnaround on Sunday. So that game was supposed to be early, and I was telling you earlier, it was supposed to be earlier in the year. Kind of like a tune-up game for the guys coming out of football, but it got bumped. To mid-January, so we take them, we can get them as an independent. We have to kind of be flexible, and our guys did a great job.
So let's go back a little bit in detail. Last Friday, you played at Boardman and came up with a big, a lopsided win there, 70-25. Now that had to be certainly a dominating performance by your team.
Another game that it shocked me a little bit because that's a tough place to play. We went there 2 years ago and played them like a week apart. We played an end of the regular season, then we played them in the tournament, and they beat us both games. And we were down 20 midway through the third quarter 2 years ago, and came back and almost tied that thing up and almost took it to overtime. Really good comeback. It's kind of fun. Some of the guys that are playing now were in that game as young men, and Chris Knight was one of those that has had his first varsity experience that game, and he got 10 points. And so we were kind of going into that one knowing they've been struggling, but looking at some scores, they were hanging tough with some teams, and we came out and just played really fast, and that's our goal is to speed teams up, and forced I think 19 or 20 turnovers in the first half. So again, it wasn't planned to be that way, but we got our bench extended, and with us having a game again 2 days later, we just want to be able to get guys off the court and not have to play long minutes. And it was a really, like I said, it was kind of a shock to us because they beat us 3 out of the last 3 games we played them. And that was our key going into that. We're saying, listen, they're 3-7 right now, but they're 0-3. Or they're 3-0 against us in the last 3 games. So we got to be really ready to go, and they've had a great program. They're just having, kind of a rebuild year. Their coach does a really good job. They'll get better. They'll be back.
And then the middle game was Sunday. You played in the Conotton Valley Classic. We talked about that last week. Came up short against Lindsley Prep, 60-52.
Another new opponent. I hadn't played before. Prep school out of Wheeling, West Virginia. And so we saw them play there last year against Garraway. Totally new team except for 2 guys. So that's kind of a prep school thing. They bring guys in. And I think their coach, I found this out after the game, their coach was the head coach at San Jose State for 4 years. Wow. And he bounced around the coaching ranks, and I think his brother is the assistant for Tom Izzo at Michigan State. So kind of a fun guy to talk to and just pick his brain a little bit. But a quality team. They got a kid that's got 4 D1 offers that was playing for them, and some other guys. They have a ton of size. I don't know if their sizes were true to their actual height, but I think their starting lineup we're looking at was 6 foot, 6'3", 6'5", 6'6", 6'9".
Wow.
And so we're 5'11", 6 foot, across the board. But our kids played. We didn't play great, but we played hard, and we cut it back. We were down 16 at half. We had a really bad end of the second quarter and first quarters, where it's like a 4-point game with 3 minutes left in the half, and we going down 16. We just had gave up a 12-0 run. We regrouped at halftime. We did some things better in the second half, but we dug ourselves too big of a hole. And so without having a good shooting day, self-induced. We took some bad shots, and then also with them, we got to the hoop a couple times. Like Jadis is really good at getting to the basket and got bumped a couple times. They were really good at staying vertical, not fouling, and with that length, it caused some problems for us at the rim. So it's a learning experience, and our guys fought back, and we cut it to 8 and stayed in the game. The whole second half was about an 8-7 point game. We just couldn't close that gap, but. Our kids, I liked the response when I got in the locker room. The talk was really positive. Leaders were stepping up, talking about things we need to do better, and that's like when you start to see like a team starting to develop, and some, they're taking ownership. And so, sometimes in a loss, just like the Hoover game, you can learn a lot from a loss, and it can actually help you more than some of these wins that we're getting right now.
And that's not just coach speak, is it?
No, no, it is absolutely so true, and. I think success covers up a lot of mistakes, and I've seen that as a coach. It is cliche, but there's been games, even when I was coaching the girls' side, you thought you played really well, and you go back and watch the film, like, we didn't play that well, we just shot it well, and that covers up, bad play, and winning covers up some mistakes that you get away with, and it's funny because we were showing film of the Boardman game, and then 2 days later, the Lindsley game, I said I cut up a clip where we made a mistake on defense against Boardman, and they didn't burn us on it, and then Lindsley did. And so it's like we're trying to focus on those things right now. It's like, listen, these things are the things that are going to get you, in those close games. So we have some things to clean up, but we're halfway through the season right now. That's the fun part of it, is you still got a long way to go yet. So we're looking forward to seeing how our team continues to gel.
So that leads me into my next question. You are near the halfway point, or right at the halfway point of the regular season. What do you know about this team, and what do you still need to find out?
One thing I know about this team is they're becoming a team. Like, I just feel like we were starting to kind of, you can see it there, just the little things of, it takes a while because we don't have the typical preseason that everybody else does. And so it takes us a little bit of time to get kind of those dynamics figured out. And, it tends to happen every year. We have some guys that start the season with us and then kind of filter their way out and just decide it's not for them because, the times, playing time is not what it was during the preseason, et cetera. So I think we're starting to get to that point. The trip to Indiana helped definitely with that. I like our team is talented. We're fast. We're not very big. We're fun to watch. People have enjoyed us when we're playing the right brand of basketball. It's not very fun for me when we're playing some of those games where we're not playing as a team. We're trying to do too much on our own. So that's the growth piece of we keep talking about it. Last night, we didn't really have a dry erase board to do our pregame, so I asked the guys, I usually write down like 4 or 5 keys to the game. And I told you number 1 was focus, and I said, all right, so now you guys, give me some of your things. What do you think we need to do tonight? And I think Jay just said, trust. And it's really important because they're hearing the things we're saying. It's like, when we don't play well, it's because we're not trusting each other. If I pass it to Chris, that he's going to take the right shot, or he's going to pass it to Keys, who's going to make the right play. That's that trust piece, and eventually it will come back to me. So I think that's the next piece, is this developing that trust, and that happens over time, especially with the young team. At one point, we look out there, we had two sophomores, 2 freshmen, and a senior on the court. In one of those rotations, and you're going to live with those mistakes. And so I'm excited to see this team continue to go. And that's the one thing I love about them, is they play hard no matter what. We always play hard, and so I can never ask for more than that from a team.
Right. All right, we're going to take a timeout, and this word now from Reliable Heating and Cooling.
Everything that goes into a Lennox system is engineered for absolute comfort. Like the parts that create your perfect temperature and humidity, or the parts that purify the air. Together, all these parts save you up to half off your heating and cooling bills. And there are few things more comforting than that.
The future of home comfort is here now at Reliable Heating and Cooling. Get the latest innovation and technology at Reliable.
Lennox. Innovation never felt so good.
Hello, and welcome to the Stark County Humane Society. Today we're going to give you a few pointers when considering adopting a new furry friend. All animals here at the Stark County Humane Society are spayed, neutered, microchipped, vaccinated, dewormed, and if old enough, heartworm tested for our canine friends. Adopters will receive a free exam within 2 weeks of adoption at local veterinarian hospitals. We encourage all adopters to take full advantage of this. A one-time adoption fee is required for your new furry friend. When you adopt, you get an awesome adoption packet that includes treats for your new fur baby and savings for you. But this is not where the cost of adoption stops. Did you know the average cost of an animal like a new puppy or kitten can cost up to $500 annually? This includes annual veterinarian visits, preventative care, and everyday supplies like crate, litter, food, toys. But I hope this doesn't scare you away. Adopting an animal is a huge responsibility and a commitment. Please take the time to consider the cost of adopting a new pet into your family today. I hope to see you soon at the Stark County Humane Society. Please visit our website or visit us on social media for more information.
Welcome back to the Josh Ho Show. Thanks to Reliable Heating and Cooling. Normally in this segment, Coach, we have a player not able to join us today, but we'll continue with the show here. Before we talk about your games this week, the upcoming games, how about an update on this year's freshman team? How are they doing so far?
Oh man, you put me on the spot on that. I think they're about that 500 mark. I think 4 and 5. Something I have to remember off the hand, but they are in a position right now. They're kind of in that tough spot because we're pulling so many of their key guys up to play some JV and some varsity time. They had a big win against St. Ed's the first week of the season, and now Gio and Braylon Gamble and Gio Jackson and they played that one, and so Gio's playing a big role for us. Braylon's starting to get some varsity minutes and playing a big role in JV, but we're just trying to get those guys minutes right now. And so sometimes that's in a JV game, sometimes it's in a freshman game, and they had a nice win against Glen Oak on Monday night. And some of our guys played with them just because we didn't have a JV game on Sunday. And I didn't know how many minutes they'd be getting the game on Tuesday. So we're trying to find that balance. And with Derek, he's got some games he's got some good talent, loaded, over abundance. And then sometimes he's a little thinner bench because of we're pulling some guys up. And so I think we have 5 of our freshman kids that are playing JV or varsity or both. Which thins out some of that group now. That's a great opportunity for some of our other guys to develop, and we've seen some really good growth out of some of those guys. But it makes it tough when you have kids that are forced into a bigger, more prominent role, and they're more of a support player. And so, but it's an opportunity for those kids to get minutes. And so, freshman JVs, you want to win. It's also a very developmental level, and you want to continue to develop those kids that are, going to be coming up the ranks in the next couple of years. So, it's kind of the up and down year. We have a freshman tournament coming up here in February, and hopefully they can be competitive. I think we have St. Ed's, Ignatius, Dover, Louisville, us, Central Catholic. It's a nice field of teams. We haven't had that strong of a tournament since we started this 3 years ago. So it'd be fun to see how they continue to improve throughout the season.
And how about the JV team? Obviously, a lot of back and forth, I guess, with players.
Absolutely. I believe JV we're sitting right now at 5-3, 6-3. They had a hard-fought win the last 2 games. I think Smitty pulled his hair out on Friday up at Boardman. They were up 20 at half. And we're negotiating. Okay, this kid's not playing the second half. This kid's not playing. And then I'm in there doing the board, and I hear the crowd getting a little excited, and I go out and I figured maybe Gio dunked one or something like that, and I like to say 8 points. Okay, they made a little run, and they come out a little bit later, and we're up 1, and then they were down 1, and then freshman Isaac Maxheimer hit a really big 3. He turned the ball over, gave the 1-point lead up, and he came back and hit a big 3, and then we ended up winning. Braylon Gamble hit a couple big foul shots down the stretch. So they've been a fun group to watch. Again, I think that's probably the hardest level to coach at, because having done it myself. In the past couple of years, Smitty's got kids coming from the freshman team up. He's got kids coming from the varsity down. They don't always practice with him. And then you're balancing emotions of kids that have been practicing with you that are, and it's Coach Hose is telling you, hey, you're going to play this kid 2 quarters. This kid gets 1. This kid gets 3. And with the 6-quarter rule, it used to be 5. That's huge because you can play a kid 3 quarters there and still have 3 for varsity. So we're trying to get kids that we have identified as key players in our program. As guys we want to build on moving forward, trying to get them the most quarters we can, most minutes we can to develop them. So it makes it tough, but they're really they're doing a good job as a team. And like I said, he does such a great job balancing that. Him and Derek Conley have done a great job this year with a tough situation.
2 games this coming week now. Friday night, back on the road at Central Catholic. What do you know about the Crusaders?
Gonna be well coached. Tough place to play in their gym. I was there the other night watching them against Coventry, and it wasn't even packed, but it sounded so loud in there. And so I'm excited. It's gonna be a fun environment. Usually we have a good crowd there for our game with them. I know that they're younger this year. Last year they were very senior oriented, very long, and so they're younger this year. They got a big guy inside, Stengel, I think is the last name, and they got the 2 Velosky kids on the outside. One started last year for them. Was a really good shooter. We've seen them a lot between scrimmages in the summer and different things. So, but Coach C will mix it up on defense. He plays his different zones, and we're going to have to come in and play well. And we're going to try to do our thing and play full court there and speed them up. But I know they're well coached, so it's not going to be like we're just going to walk in there and make them throw the ball over the gym. We're going to have to earn those turnovers. We're going to have to earn those opportunities. So. Like I said, it should be a really good environment. I think they're about 7-3 right now, and again, they're probably like us, a young team that's probably building as the season comes along here and getting better each week.
And then on Saturday, the Tigers are part of the Spectrum Classic that's being played on Saturday and Sunday. You play Alliance. What time is that, and what do you know about the Aviators?
All right, so Alliance, I believe we play. It's a 4 o'clock or 4:30 game. I have to check the schedule to make sure, but. I think they stumbled coming out of the blocks a little bit to start the year. I think they had a kid that was out, and a new coach. Definitely, that's a change always. And so I don't know. They're into NBC play. I think they won last night in overtime against Minerva. They're playing against Marlington, West Branch. I forget who they have. I think they have Marlington on Friday right before they play us. So a big league game night before. But I know they have a really quick guard. We scrimmaged against them last year. We've seen them in the summer again, and so. Their style of play is similar to ours. They want to get up and down, play fast. So I mean, it should be those environments are tough. Like those classics, it's oddball times to start. Right. It's an empty gym. There's 25, 30, 40 people in the stands sometimes in those things. It's just you don't have an electric environment like we'll see Friday night. It's going to be a total contrast on Saturday. And on those days we always say you got to BYOJ, bring your own juice. As a team, you got to bring that energy on your own and kind of create that energy. And so, like last night was one of those that we're like, hey, told the JV team, we're going to need you guys. We're going to, but the kids like them because they get fed. Those are kind of fun things. Most of those events, and North Canton does a phenomenal job in their event. We've done that every year I've been here, 6 years, and it's probably one of the most, if not the best run event around. Just with, they give you some gear, they get take care of the kids. It's it's just the production's really good, and so it should be a good opportunity. It's a good opponent.
Sounds good. Well, good luck this week.
Thank you.
All right, that'll do it for this week's edition of the Josh Ho Show, brought to you by Reliable Heating and Cooling. And for Coach Hose, I'm Dave Sheets. Thanks for watching, and as always, go Tigers.